We continue with the book of Job. Satan first took away what Job had, and Job did not cave in, and so Satan says to God, "Oh, but let me make him a little bit uncomfortable. I won't kill him." Well, God says you can't kill him. And so Job is visited again, but this day it's even in his body, and he is in suffering. And so his friends come and they try to convince him that he's wrong. He's worshiping the wrong God. And they say, if you were worshiping the right God, he'd be taking care of you. You wouldn't be in pain. Even Job's wife says, curse God and just get it over with. And so Job responds, Pity me, O you, my friends, for the hand of God has struck me, which must be how it seems to Job. But then he says, why do you hound me as though you were divine? In other words, people are talking to him like they're God. You're not God. You don't know what's going on. How can you accuse me or tell me that I should be worshiping another God? You're not God. And then he says, and this is so wonderful, oh, that my words were written down. Would that they were inscribed in a record. That with an iron chisel and with lead they were cut in the rock forever. Job is weakening. And this is good for us to know. When we are weak physically, it's difficult for us to remain faithful. It's not as if the two are not connected. When we are sick or suffering or mourning the loss of another, when we are in deep trials and tribulations, we need help being faithful. And so Job says, even if I weaken, I want this message in stone. In other words, this is bigger than just me. It's bigger than just you. So even though I may fail, God will always succeed. And he says, but as for me, I know that my vindicator lives. I know that God lives. And that he will at last stand upon the dust. But he says, I myself shall see him with my own eyes. This is not something, pie in the sky religion. Job says, I trust in God. And of course, we don't know how true this is until after Jesus dies and rises from the dead. Jesus quotes Psalm 22, my God, why have you abandoned me? Well, if you go to the other end of Psalm 22, it speaks of leading the assembly back into the temple. In other words, I myself am going to lead the people back. In other words, God overcomes even death. Job wants that written down. He doesn't even understand it yet. He wants it written down. It is a foreshadowing of the victory of Jesus Christ. And in our own lives, that victory is at work. And there may be days when we want to give up. There may be days when we are beaten down. But we need to say with Job, as for me, I know that my vindicator lives. It's bigger than me. And even if I fall flat on my face, God himself, through Jesus Christ and the gift of his Holy Spirit, the Trinity will come to my aid and will pick me up. God will forgive me my sins, especially those that I have committed through human weakness. He will lift me up and restore me.